You know the grammar. You've studied the tenses. You've memorized hundreds, maybe thousands of words. You can read an English article and understand almost every sentence. So, why is it that the moment someone looks at you and asks a simple question in English, your mind goes blank? Your heart starts beating faster, your palms get a little sweaty, and the sentence that was perfectly clear in your head 5 seconds ago suddenly falls apart the moment you try to say it out loud? If this has ever happened to you, I want you to hear this clearly. Your English is not broken. Your knowledge is not the problem. What's actually happening is something much simpler and much more human. You are afraid of making a mistake, and that fear, not your vocabulary, not your grammar, is the real thing standing between you and fluency. Today, we're going to talk about why this fear exists, why it's lying to you about how dangerous it actually is, and most importantly, exactly what you can do, starting today, to get past it. Think about a baby learning to walk. A baby doesn't study the theory of balance before taking the first step. They stand up, fall down, and try again. They might fall dozens of times, but nobody treats those falls as failures. Everyone understands that falling is simply part of learning to walk. But somehow, as adults, we treat language mistakes completely differently. When we make a mistake in English, we don't just think, I made a mistake. We think, what will people think of me? We worry that people will think we're unintelligent, uneducated, or simply bad at English. And that's the real problem. Your brain isn't afraid of a wrong tense or a misplaced preposition. It's afraid of judgment. It's a social fear wearing a linguistic costume. It looks like a grammar problem, but underneath it is the fear of being seen making a mistake. And this is important because if the real problem is fear of judgment, studying more grammar alone won't solve it. You can memorize every English rule and still freeze during a real conversation. Now imagine you're speaking English and you suddenly use the wrong word. In your mind, it can feel like the entire room has noticed. You imagine people judging you, remembering your mistake, or even laughing about it later. But what usually happens in reality? Almost nothing. People are busy thinking about their own lives, their own responses, and what they're going to say next. Even if someone notices your mistake, they usually understand what you mean, and the conversation simply continues. And remember, native speakers make mistakes too. They forget words, they restart sentences, they use the wrong expression. Sometimes they even make grammar mistakes. Nobody expects them to speak perfectly every second. So why demand perfection from yourself when native speakers don't even achieve it? Think about someone whose English you really admire, someone who speaks fluently and confidently. They didn't become fluent by avoiding mistakes. They became fluent by making thousands of mistakes and continuing to speak anyway. Every fluent speaker has an embarrassing collection of sentences somewhere in their past. They simply stopped treating those mistakes as reasons to stay silent. So how can you start doing the same? First, lower the stakes. Don't make your first speaking practice a job interview, an important presentation, or a conversation with someone you desperately want to impress. Start somewhere safe. Speak to yourself at home. Describe what you're doing while cooking. Talk about your plans for tomorrow. Read something aloud and explain it in your own words. Talk to a language partner who is also learning. The goal isn't to stay in a comfortable environment forever. The goal is to give your brain repeated evidence that making a mistake doesn't lead to disaster. Second, replace the goal of perfect with the goal of understood. Ask yourself honestly, what's the purpose of speaking English? Is it to create a grammatically perfect sentence that would get full marks on an exam? Or is it to communicate an idea, a feeling, or some information to another person? The answer is communication. If you make a small grammar mistake, but the other person understands exactly what you mean, your communication succeeded. Once you stop chasing perfection, something interesting happens. The pressure decreases, you stop freezing, and you actually start speaking more naturally. Third, start collecting your mistakes instead of being ashamed of them. Every time you make a mistake while speaking, write it down. Not to criticize yourself, but to collect evidence. After a few weeks, look at your list and ask yourself, what actually happened after I made these mistakes? Did the conversation end? Did everyone laugh at me? Did something terrible happen? Probably not. The conversation continued. The other person understood you. And sometimes, you probably forgot about the mistake within a few minutes. That list becomes proof that your fear is exaggerating the danger. And here's the beautiful part. Many of those mistakes will eventually disappear, not because you were terrified of making them, but because you practiced enough for your brain to learn the correct pattern naturally. If this video helped you see mistakes differently, tell me in the comments, what's the most embarrassing English mistake you've ever made and what actually happened afterward? Let's normalize mistakes together. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.